Okay, so now we're going to talk about Nortriptylin. And this is a 25 milligram that I took. And this is currently my arch nemesis. So I got approval to go to UC Irvine um, to see a doctor there, which is funny because if you watched my earlier videos in life with gastroparesis, um, there were several times when my medical group and my insurance tried to get me to go to UC Irvine, and UC Irvine wouldn't take me because they weren't taking on any more people with gastroparesis, which is why I got special exception to go all the way up to Los Angeles to go to Cedars-Sinai. Well, Cedars-Sinai then had told me I want somebody in Orange County very much like me, but a GI or whatever that I could bounce ideas off of and that you can go to on more urgent issues, and then we can just work off of that. So I attempted that, and that guy had referred me to UC Irvine, but knew somebody and was already questioning that this might not just be gastroparesis. So maybe all of that was why it made this okay, because I was able to see this person at UC Irvine, and in my first visit with him, he had prescribed me for this nortriptyline. Now, I felt like I communicated very well with him about my diet and how I was feeling and how things were going. And it's almost like he didn't pay attention to any of that, or he just needs to be more informed, I guess. So I took this once. I was instructed to take it once a day at night before I went to bed because I was told it was going to make me sleepy. And I even told him, I said, I have very important work that I need to do. I can't have this interfere with that. And he said, well, I'll write you a note. And I was like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. I work in the event industry, so that's not how it works. So I waited until I knew I had a break of almost a week between the training and the event actually starting. So that night at the end of training, I went home and I took one and I went to bed, and already I could tell my heart was beating a little bit faster. And I felt like maybe something down here was moving around, but I was still able to sleep. And I woke up the next morning and I felt so sick. I felt very jittery. I felt very shaky. I felt like very, like, I guess anxious, maybe, just very warm in the upper body and especially in the face. Um, it's almost like a medicinal feeling. Then I was obviously afraid to be up here by myself with the boys. So I called my friend Ashby to see if I could go over there because I didn't think I could make it all the way home to Orange County. And I just didn't want to be alone. So I went and hung out with her, and I passed out like twice over the course of the day, maybe even 3 times. We were sitting on the couch watching TV, just out, just so tired. And it was just like I was so weak walking around. We went to the movies, and it was just like it was hell. So I was very unhappy about this. And even today, which is like almost 2 weeks later, I still feel like I'm still trying to recover from it because I do not feel like I did the 2 weeks before. And it just breaks my heart because, I even went to the emergency room one day because I was like, there's something very wrong. This is not right. And I almost lost my job over it. So, all very scary things. I'm going to say I wouldn't recommend this. My doctor wants me to go back on it. But there's definitely going to need to be like a huge break in time, and we are definitely going to need to sit down and talk about what the situation is with this, because going to sleep is not the answer. Resting is not the answer. I need to be able to be alive and walk around and do stuff. That's not a solution for what I've got going on. And when I emailed him to let him know the situation, he prescribed Ativan. And I said, I can't take Ativan. They prescribed that to me very early on in my gastroparesis diagnosis. But that makes me jittery and shaky and puts me to sleep as well. So why would I take two things that do that same thing? and it probably does slow down the gastric emptying, so that doesn't make any sense either. So that's where we're at right now. I'm scheduled to have a procedure with him next week, and apparently we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but I don't know how much we're going to be able to talk about it then, because I feel like he probably doesn't have a lot of time during procedures, and who knows how like out I'm going to be after that. So yeah,